All right, guys, as you can see from the title, this was the last K1 Challenge GP of the year. Long awaited, been meaning to make this video for a while now, and it's a time I've been looking forward to, but unfortunately, I kind of feel like Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. Although I came close to being first, it really doesn't matter. It still stings. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's recap today's race that we had, and also just the season in general, because it was a good one. Had some great fights, but just missed first place. So a little background going into this race. It was the December race, the 12th round, and I had missed one race in the season, and so that put me just out of the first place position. In fact, I think I was 3 points below the leader, Jeff, going into this race. So I needed to finish 4 points ahead of him in the race, anywhere in position, but 4 points ahead of him in order to come in first for the entire season. And then I was 4 points ahead of Luke, and so I needed to at least retain that to not come in third. And so my focus was entirely to win this. I thought, 4 points, it actually could have been 3 points. I don't know how many wins Jeff had. I had 3 wins this season, so depending on a tie, that could have put me in first. In any case, I was going into this with the mentality I could win this. And unfortunately, that's not what happened. So this is a bit of qualifying footage. In fact, the session where I put down my good lap, my best lap, which qualified me for second. My first qualifying session was really not good. Here I'm getting upset because they kept throttling down the power a second before I would cross the finish line. In qualifying, it happened to me twice in a row. And then what's happening here is that they waved the checkered flag, but they gave us 2 extra laps. So, hey, once again, K1 speed in typical fashion, just kind of screwing things up here. But as you guys know, that is very expected at this point. So in any case, I was able to put down a really good lap here, which put me on provisional pole at the time until Ben, who's a karting kind of guru who comes every so often, he ended up putting down pole position. So I started the race in second. And as I'll explain to you guys in just a second here, starting a race at K1 speed in Wilmington in second place is really, really disadvantageous. All right, pulling up to the start-finish line, the grid here, and as you'll see, the pole sitter in front of me, cart 14, starts on the left side, the inside line, and then the second starter, me, starts up on the right side. And the third place guy starts up to the left of me in a straight line right behind the first place guy. And if you look at the line here, I am way on the outside here. Second place start is just on the outside line. And I did my best to angle my cart diagonally so I could cut in as quickly as possible to get behind cart number 14. In fact, if you remember from a previous race, I started in second and I lost position right away to Eli, who started in third, because he had a straight shot right to first place. And so I was very cognizant of this. I tried to position my cart to avoid this, and I had one goal in this race start here, which was to tuck in right behind Ben. That was my only goal right away. That was my mission. So as you can see, I have the wheel kind of turned there. I was kind of at a 45-degree angle. If you look at the front back straight going towards the front wall there, I was about a 45-degree angle inward. Any more, I thought it would have been flagged. So yeah, my goal here is to tuck behind him. So about to wave the flag here. And immediately I get a bad start. I did everything in my power to get behind him. I get a bad start. Cart number 6 and cart number 9 get ahead of me. Luckily I tuck in there, but right off the bat, just really poor start, and I miss out. And now I'm behind 3 of the quickest guys who attend K1 speed here. And I'm in a very bad spot to secure this championship, because you know who's behind me? The championship leader, Jeff, who's 4 points ahead of me. So as it stands right here, I would have to overtake the 3 fastest guys here, and have Jeff stay where he is. So already looking very unfavorable. I can feel Jeff breathing down my neck behind me and the 5 cars that are behind him. And so at this point, I make a call, a very unfortunate call, which is that, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to overtake all 3 of these guys. And I need to be very aware of the guys behind me, particularly Jeff, from coming up on the inside. And so from now on, I take a very, very defensive line. In fact, the most defensive line I've ever had to take, the most conservative line. In fact, it was so conservative that it was actually risky for me because I was on a cold track surface. This wasn't a line that I've practiced before. I was really slowing myself down because if you go too wide right here, he's going to come up in the inside. But look, coming up in the inside pushes me out wide. So my defensive line is really creating a challenge for me. I just got bumped from Jeff. You can see he's about to get past me, but I hold the inside here and then sneak away to the outside to keep this part protected. But he's already giving me hell. The 3 front runners are just creating a crazy gap. I'm having to use my brake. So for context, at K1 here, you don't use your brake unless you're going to hit someone. If you want a fast lap, you do not brake. But I just did not see a way to secure this position, to not lose this position, and still maintain a fast line. Maybe that's an experience thing, and I definitely, if you guys have ideas or anyone watching this can kind of know how to retain your fast line without risking being overtaken. Because if Jeff overtakes me here, that's really dangerous for me. At this point, I know first place is very unlikely to secure first place in the championship. Again, that would require me to have to get into first place here in this race or for Jeff to drop positions. Both very unlikely at this point. So my goal here, my strategy shifts to accepting defeat and instead maintaining this position. Now, theoretically, Jeff doesn't have to pass me to secure first place in the championship. Again, he's 4 points ahead of me, so he does not need to get ahead of me here. But we are we're racers here. We wanna race, as they say. If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a race car driver, right? So Jeff is very competitive. He's going to try to get this pass done, but he doesn't have to. And so I'm trying to secure my position because I know that if he passes me, then it's possible that what typically can happen here, as you guys have seen before, if someone comes up on the inside, it kind of just creates this train effect where you can no longer get back into the inside, and you're just subject to as many carts as are in that train getting by, and then you have to tuck your way in after. And so I'm very fearful that he is going to create that opening, and then multiple carts are going to get through, and then that would put me into 3rd place in the championship. And I definitely don't want that at this point. I'm not going to go into this race fighting for first and end up 3rd. And so, yeah, it was very unfortunate, but the win is out of the books in my eyes at this point, unless a miracle. And I'm just taking that inside line and I'm braking at the main points here, coming up here rather than going wide out to the wall. I'm coming at the inside and braking hard. And same thing, coming out here into the turn 2 here, hairpin, turn 3, braking hard on the inside. But watch what happens. On an upcoming lap, I'm slowing the pack down so much because of my defensive racing here. Because I just can't risk getting passed. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take in this race right now. And I'm fully aware that I am slowing people down, but too bad because I can't risk a position. But yeah, you'll see I think it's the next corner where the real second wave of unfortunate events after the bad start takes place. So I recognize that my driving is probably sloppy. Yeah, I'm holding on for dear life here, trying to use the brakes. Again, you don't practice with the brakes. We don't get time to practice. I only show up once a month, and you don't practice braking. That's not part of the technique. So this defensive line is really new to me. I get bumped out of the way there. Jeff and David, I think it was, behind him, sneak through. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. This is the last lap here. So Jeff was just getting impatient, and maybe I broke early. I'll have to go back and watch it. But in any case, I get pushed wide. They come through. Luckily, there was a gap behind them, and so no one else got by. But this is where I ended. I ended in 6th place. I started in 2nd and went to 6th. Yeah, I was really disappointed. You know, it was definitely going to be a challenge to win this race, but more so to win the championship. But I had hopes. You know, I put down a great qualifier lap, started from 2nd. My plan was to tuck into 2nd place and then make a move around Ben at some point, the pole sitter. But as you can see, the start of the race kind of threw that plan awry, and I was now holding on to my 2nd place in the championship. So, very unfortunate race. But yeah, let's go back and look at what happened because, yeah, it didn't feel good. All right, it looks like maybe I broke right here. I'm a little bit wide, but again, that's part of the problem. Maybe I was taking too much of a normal line here. I was too wide. I'm starting to press the brake pedal here, and then next thing I know it, I think I get bumped right here. Somehow I just go wide. I don't recall if it was a bump, but clearly I wasn't defending well here. So Jeff was able to push his way through, and like I said before, as soon as someone pushes their way through, that makes a clear path for the next person, which is what happened. And in fact, I get spun out kind of sideways here. Thank goodness no one was right behind them, because had I lost a few more positions, I think it would have put me in 3rd. In fact, I think if I lost one more position, it would have put me into 3rd place in the championship. So incredibly frustrating, but all in all, it still was a solid result for the season. Given that it was going to be a challenge to secure 1st place, I still came away in 2nd. So instead of walking away with my 1st place trophy, I was able to secure 2nd place trophy, which was kind of cool, and a few of these little go-kart ones for the individual races that I won and came in, ended up on the podium. But yeah, great season. This was my 1st season. I had a great experience. Yes, it's just arrive and drive. It's for fun. It's like whatever, anyone can do it. But these guys are really competitive. Like, I don't know about how the other chapters do it, other cities, but the Wilmington, Massachusetts K1 Speed chapter has gotten like really competitive. Like, it's hard to win, and guys are showing up consistently. So it's been a great time, and despite the inevitable and typical K1 just stuff that happens, whether it's their systems breaking or they just can't figure stuff out, I'd say overall I'm pleased with the year and pleased with the result. And my focus now, amidst all the other racing stuff going on, sim racing is a big thing, but I just look forward to coming back next year and securing that P1.